was just live and I have nothing to show for it. I was talking about being water, holding on to your peace. Your peace is your center. And if you hold on to your peace no matter what might come, you'll be able to operate from that center. And everything else that comes will just be lifing. Be water. Being water is what the Lord told me a couple weeks ago. Being water is being water is not like a duck with water slipping off their back, as they say, that's saying. But what it is being able to flow, being able to go with the flow, being able to nourish, being essential, and knowing you are essential, knowing that whatever comes, whatever goes, that you are a part of life that people need. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that's got to be your first and primary understanding of life. Having a spiritual awakening simply means going from that 3D dimension of thinking to now climbing up the stairs and seeing out of that lighthouse. There's a lighthouse that sits in the middle of the ocean. And that lighthouse is what directs people path. When you're on the bottom level of the white lighthouse, you can't see anything. That's just a place that it's just rocking. It's just a place to slumber, to sleep, eat. You have the same, like, just, you know. But when you find that exit and you climb the stairs and you go to the top and you find a big old light, now you can see. And you can be seen. You see me? I see you clearly. And when the boats are going, they be like, okay, we're still going north. There's the lighthouse right over there. There it is. Like, where are we? Where are we? Somebody get the binoculars, see if there's any boats, see if there's anything anywhere. The storm is coming. Hurry. Okay, there's a lighthouse up there. Okay, let's see. Where's that? Where's that? Get on the map. Oh, okay, that's Marietta. Okay, good. It's a shore right there, 2 miles south of that lighthouse. Okay, anchors away. Let's go this way, and then we'll go south 2 miles. And the captain of that ship is very experienced, and you have to trust that captain. You have to follow his lead in order to get to shore. You can't feel like any emotions attached to the mission. The mission is simple and plain. There is a process in your purpose to get to your purpose, and we have to trust God's timing. God's timing tells us everything we need to know. When you are in a situation where you can be shipwrecked at any minute, you don't have time to wonder what is going on around you. In fact, you try to just stay focused so you don't see what is going on around you. You are just simply listening for the captain. You're simply listening for your discernment. And in God's timing, God reveals himself through you. His timing shows not only you that has trusted him, that how great and grand he is, because you know everything you going through. You are your own witness. And as you rise, as the Lord lifts you up out the mud to the valley, to the hilltop, to the mountaintop, every step of the way, it might take 2 years, it might take 3 years, but in the process, people see and understand what you're going through. You reach out for help and nobody's there to help you. Nobody's there to save you. And in God's timing, when things are ready for whatever He has scheduled, whatever He is doing with your life, if you truly trust Him and if you stay on your path. I made a post yesterday, and if you go to my um, section of my page where uh, it's just posts there, pictures there, community. It has two diggers, right? And one digger had just only dug a little bit, and he got him a nice sized diamond. And you can see the second digger on the second one, where he was looking at the guy who had just got the nice sized diamond, and he had dug a whole lot, but he was just this far from getting a huge diamond. But he started looking at this guy who just dug a little bit. Now, the guy walking away whistling like, hoo, 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 la, la, la. He finished with his day's work. And so the guy, he only got this much to break through. But no, the guy was like, hey, I'm digging in the wrong thing because he focused on what the other guy doing. So in the last one, you see the guy's shadow. All he doing is just dig. He done dug past the big diamond in the other one that was meant for him. And now he's digging in the same thing that the guy took the little diamond. This is what happens in life. The enemy, he send people to get that little diamond. He send people be close to you so you can see this. These people have done what they're supposed to do for theirs, but you're Focus on what they doing, what they done did. Maybe they just got their blessing. Maybe it's not the enemy. Maybe it's God who sent them. But they got their blessing. But you worry about what they got. I'm gonna say it was a blessing. We ain't gonna talk about the enemy. We ain't gonna give him that much credit. We're gonna stay on God. They done got their blessing, and you worry about what they got, and you don't stop looking at what you got. And so you ain't gonna get your breakthrough. You're gonna just keep digging, 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 digging till you get tired. Then you gotta start all over. And you might be going further and further from it. And that's how life is. When we take our eyes off of what God have us on our narrow path, when we start looking at what other people doing, when we start listening to what other people saying, when we start worrying and wondering instead of doing what the Lord initially said, just like if like let's say that they was saying that they was gonna you won a car on a show or sweepstakes or something. You just won it. Not playing the lottery, not gambling. You just won a car. He's like, oh, good, because I was planning on selling my car. In fact, I'm gonna run the ad now. By the time they get the tag and stuff and deliver the car, hey, I'll have some car and I'll have my money. Hey. So you run an ad, you all on Facebook Marketplace. Well, somebody responds to the ad. Oh, well, look, how much is you selling the 2020? For how much? 20,000. What's wrong with it? Nothing. I just got the oil change. I got just this is that. It's paid off, everything. But I just won a brand new Benz. And I'm trying to give a different example because I just gave an example on the last one that I thought I was taping. So I'm trying to not be just trying to dig and so that the Lord can use me. So anyway, they come to get it, and instead of you saying, "Okay, I'm gonna wait till I get the actual vehicle," then you be like, well, I know it's coming through. It's already been a couple weeks. All right," and they paying cash. I'm like, you like, all right, you know what? I can use my sister card until. I'm like, yeah, okay, go ahead. The Lord didn't tell you to do that. You ain't pray about it, nothing. You just got in your carnal self. You don't know the process of getting this car. You don't know if you got to pay taxes on the car. You don't know if the car is even good enough. The new cars they making a lot of times they not as good as the older ones. And even a 2020 is still relatively new. You don't throw all that out the window because you all you hear is free and bins. You ain't did no real. So now you done took your eyes off of your narrow path and you done went down a whole nother road. And we don't realize that when we do that, we get further away from God. And this is what happened to me. I had my spiritual awakening in 2024, but I was so into doing TikTok videos. And the Lord had told me already that He have a ministry in me. I just could not believe that. I just could not believe that. First of all, I was hearing women can't be ministers. I kept hearing that. And I just, from being beat down so much in my life about, first of all, book smarts, even though I am a teacher to my son, I'm a teacher to him. I have to learn his lessons before he get them because I had to pull him out of school. And I've been doing this for 3 years, turning in his stuff to the Department of Education. But I just kept feeling like, no, I know how to do this. I know how to do this better. I feel like I excel in this. I feel like, it's better for me to do this. I feel like this is really my calling. Instead of trusting God and trusting that allowing him to build me up. I didn't let him build me up because I started back talking to the people he told me to stop talking to. And they got back in my ear, and I kind of went back to sleep. In fact, a lot of stuff, when I look back on some of the things I was saying and the Holy Spirit was really using me, I don't even remember. So I actually had to have a second spiritual awakening and actually really stop talking to the people. It was very hard for me to do that. It's very hard for me to do that. And it didn't matter how much they have hurt me. And it didn't matter how much they made me feel like I wasn't really ever going to amount to nothing. And how beneath them I'll always be. It really didn't matter because I really wanted a relationship with them. And I wanted a relationship with them, and I wanted a relationship with God. And I felt like I could have it how I wanted it. I felt like a traitor. I felt like a rat. I've always been so faithful, and I've always used the street code of being faithful. Don't say nothing. To say something makes you lower than low. Even when I would talk and I wouldn't use names, when I was doing the ministry in 2024, I never used names. Even when I had to say something, I wouldn't say it because I knew people would know who I was talking about. And I didn't want to do that. So I fell back to sleep and I started doing the things I was doing before I had my spiritual awakening because they were so familiar and it was so much easier to go along, to get along, because it's so hard to stand out. I would come to YouTube, and just like then, only time I would get views is when I would do a TikTok video. But if I would go live, it would do like it's doing now, zero. That was too hard for me to be on TikTok. And whenever I go live, I'll be have like 4, 6, 8, 7, like that. So I'm like, you know what? It's too hard to stand out. It's too hard to be doing something different. People hate you for that. They already don't like me. But at least when I do my TikToks, at least when I show it here and put my shorts up, at least it'll get views, at least it'll get likes, at least I don't feel like I'm the only person in the world, like I'm trying to do something different than everybody else, trying to stand out. And then I told God I was ready to do what He told me to do. Because when I went back to sleep, I wasn't always all the way asleep. I couldn't unsee what I had seen. But it just made it clearer when I went back because they got worse. Things got worse. And then now, whereas before I could see, but my discernment wasn't really on point because I felt I just felt like a ghetto hood rat or something. I just felt like somebody who recovered from using and who will always be seen as that person. Somebody who used to be a dancer, who used to, I just felt like I was in another boat. I just felt like I would never be able to be seen as a dignified woman. You know, when my mother used to answer the phone, she would answer her business voice. So I started trying to build myself up. One of my exes told me, he was like, "Why do you move like that?" I was like, "Move like what?" And he was like, "That's all right." I'm like, "No, tell me what you mean." And then so I would pay attention to how I move. And then one day I was confronting this guy and I was really in his face because he had hit my bottom. And so when I turned around, I was in his face, like, doing like this. And the guy was looking at me like he was scared. And I felt myself looking like, very aggressive. And I did not like that. So I decided to channel my feminine energy. And I decided to really become who I'm meant to be. And I never want to be fake. I just only want to be accepted as a full grown woman who is really on her grind. I just want to be seen differently. So I wanted to look differently. I wanted to present myself differently. But no matter what, they still see me the same way. Everybody always see me the same way. And that's only been since I've been here in Augusta. Because it was once upon a time, I was so very well respected in Detroit. And it all started when I first became a Muslim and I started selling my clothes. And I started in the Muslim culture being not seen, having a face thing on my face and everything. And I wasn't seen. And I dedicated myself to my husband. I've always been faithful to my lovers and my husband. I was not a cheater, never been a cheater. I've always followed the street code of loyalty to my demise. And I knew my husband could get another wife, but it broke my heart when he did because I had just had two children. I was all out of shape and everything. And then when I trusted somebody that was in the community, supposed to be my best friend, and she hurt my daughter, then I went to jail and everything just went upside down. And ever since then, it's just been like, and I'm not trying to get no sympathy because I was wrong for being neglectful, for not knowing the person name, for leaving my children with somebody I don't even know their real name. And my children are the ones you should feel sorry for because they're not with me. They haven't been able to know their mother. But I felt so much dedication to my mother because she took my oldest son on. So no matter what, no matter what, she was my spiritual leader. She was my, you know, anyway, I just surrendered myself to the Lord as far as I've been saved. I've been living an upright life, but I've been asking Him for certain things. I've been asking Him to show me, like, the things that you showed me. When is they going to happen? Or am I wrong? Am I wrong? Did you show me that? It's been so long ago. But every time I pass another test and I feel myself being elevated in the spirit, and He talks to me, He tells me, congratulations. He tells me that I'm on a new level. He shows me my eyes get more clearer, my sight get more clearer, my hearing get more clearer. I understand better and things I don't even want to see or understand in my dreams. I do. The cousin that I told you guys that came in my dream, and then the very next day, he had requested a friendship from me from Facebook. Well, we was already friends, but he was in my dream, and I had an awful dream. I woke up screaming out the dream, and it was him in my dream. And then I have dreams. I never tell you guys because I don't be wanting nobody who's attacking me to know that they're affecting me. So I never say anything. And the Lord has started telling me to talk up about certain things. Well, he just passed away. That cousin, he passed away 3 days later. And people probably wonder why I didn't go to the funeral and wonder why I have so many pictures and why I didn't display them online or go online. But he's been attacking me for years. So did my ex that's passed away that he hooked me up with. And I've never said names because I have never been led to say names. And I have never been, I feel like I'm already on a ledge out there by myself. And so to also give up my loyalty to and commitment to my street code, how I have learned to be in my life, would register me to be even worse than standing out. I go through so many changes to get my medicine, like Uber. I just now supposed to catch an Uber, and I had been waiting for my one prescription so that I could get it on the same date as my other prescription. So I just been going without it. In fact, I've been in pain. Going last week, I was in a lot of pain online, but I just been going without it so I could have it on the same day so that I could catch the Uber the same day to the pharmacy. Well, the Uber is supposed to be through my health benefits, and I'm waiting outside for the Uber, and he said he pulled up. I was outside waiting. And then I called him. He answered and then hung up. I called him. It was a lady answer, hung up. Then I texted him. And then I said, I'm out here. I don't see you. Then I called my insurance agency. And then they was like, okay, well, you got to give him 5 to 6 minutes. Then as soon as I hung up with him, they said that the ride was canceled. Then when I called my insurance agency back for them to reschedule it, they said I have to wait 3 days. I'm like, but he's the one who canceled my ride. And I have to get both of my prescriptions now. Now I'll be out of the medicine if I don't get both of them. So they're like, you just gotta wait. Well, my mother was picking up my medicine. The guy who was taking my mail, he was supposed to be. This is why I stopped having my medicine delivered. The guy, I don't even know him. He's the mail carrier. He would not bring me my medicine. He would, it'd be like it's at the post office, it's on its way. It wouldn't get delivered. Then I call the post office. They won't answer the phone. When they finally do answer the phone, they say it's up here. Then I have to call my mom and ask her to go up there because I have to wait 2 days to get. So I'm like, Lord, if I do this, I won't have nobody even call. I won't be. He's like, you've been calling me. Continue to call me. I will make a way out of no way. And I'm like, Lord, if I do this, they won't be able to call me. I won't. I, I mean, I love these people. I love, I'm like, I love these people. And he told me that it's them or him. I'm like, how is that? Because of how they treat me. He's giving me eyes to see that. And even though I see it clearly, I know I sound like a joke, but I do love him. I have got I have gotten a relationship with him. And now I have surrendered completely. I surrendered completely 2 months ago when I stopped talking to my mother. Completely. I don't talk to anybody. And I asked him if I could call. That's why I had to ask him, could I call my mom? Like, why you gotta ask him to call your mom? That sounds so extreme. It sounds like you're in a cult or something. I'm not. But it's so much I can't say until time, if it's ever time. But he told me to call and when, and that was for me to say goodbye. And it's not easy living this life. But on top of that, people give me obstacles y'all wouldn't understand. It's like I'm the enemy of the state. I don't never want to I never want to come on and tell y'all this, but Lord's telling me now it's time because other people suffer in silence too. And I never want people to feel like I'm a victim or feel like I want to be called a victim or feel like anything, any type of way, like I'm trying to present myself like, oh, woe is me. Because I'm still here. I'm grateful. I'm happy about my life. I love my life and everything. But I have made major sacrifices, even sacrifices that I didn't mean, that I wasn't trying to make. I wasn't trying to not never see my kids again. My lawyer tricked me. My husband gave up on the fight. I was supposed to be my ex-husband. I was supposed to be getting visitation and stuff. They lied to me. And I've been so overwhelmingly grateful for my mother raising my oldest son who hates me, who have said in his rap songs that I'm dead, who has cussed me out to my face. This clothes looked like he was going to swing on me. I had to actually call my mom to come and get him so I wouldn't have to call the police or shoot him. Me and my son fled the apartment. And then when he wanted to stay with me again, my mother made me feel bad because I said he couldn't stay with me. And since then, I've had them over for Thanksgiving and stuff. They humiliate me in front of everybody. We go out to lunch. They say out loud that my son is autistic, knowing that that hurts his feelings. You know he's autistic, right? When he get up to go to the bathroom so that they can hear him. Then so I go to make sure he didn't hear, and he say he didn't hear, but I could tell his atmosphere has changed. Then he tell me before, I don't think grandma like me. But God, I have been buried more times than I can count. Where I have seen people dig in my grave, where people have told me from Detroit that I was art. They heard the story of what happened to me. I was supposed to be rolled up in a carpet, and I had supposed to been on Woodward Avenue, or got killed off the whole. I'm talking about seeing visions of people putting spells on me, feeling the effects of the spells. And every time I get up to another level, it's more. But the whole thing is, every time I get elevated, I get more balance in my life, in my personal life, in my personal space. So if I don't go on the enemy's property, I'm in perfect peace. If I don't do, if I don't allow what the Lord tell me not to allow, then I feel good about myself. I feel great about myself. I feel my confidence is all the way up, all the way turned up, all the way turned up. My confidence. My confidence. Trying to see myself how God, not trying to, finally seeing myself how God sees me. Finally feeling like I really am somebody. I really do have a calling. And yes, a ministry. All of us are ministers. That is children of God. We don't have to even tell anybody about Jesus or God. They supposed to be able to see how we live. But that's why they already see. That's why they're upset. But it was a time they thought we was just trying too hard. But now the veil has been lifted. They know. we're not trying. They know we're children of God. Because not only have we, as the children of God, have eyes to see and ears to hear, now the veil has been lifted off the world this year in 2026, where people are really, really seeing people for who they are, even if they don't know them. They don't, you can't say they have discernment like the children of God, but you can say that they have, they're up on it. See, I wasn't even gonna go here. I had a first thing I did. I was almost finished, but I got cut off. And now I still got 20 minutes. Unless they cut me off, which they might do. My sons. Hi, I got me a viewer for a minute. Hi. The Lord was telling me to be water. And it's so beautiful because when I first got saved, He gave me a verse. This is my verse that I've said this before, that I have used throughout my saved life. And when I first got saved, it's been now about 11 years. It's been a long road. Everything changed for me when I got saved. Everything changed. It started changing. It first started with my elder at the church. And he said he had a dream that I had a children's ministry. Even my mom was like, I don't think you should do it. No, I don't think you should do it. Why? Well, because you got to be sold out to God. If you're going to have any kind of issue, you don't know. And it was only a few children at my church, like my son, 4-year-old, my little nephew. That was it. And all I had to do was the basic that we all know about Jesus died on the cross and, the basic stuff. And if we had any extras come, they just learned the basic stuff. Then I do the presentation. It was a small church. And so then I had to fight with the other people. They thought because came to the church, it was my mom doing it, but it was the elder doing it. She didn't even want me to be no children's minister. But after I did that, that's when I started rising. It started there. All of my rises has been from directly from God. No person, they might say, "Oh, your mom's a co-pastor." She never rose me into nothing. No person but God. I would go clean up the church. I would go manicure the lawn at the church. Didn't charge nothing. I would finish a day's work because I was doing housekeeping and construction work. And I would go pay my tithes, $100 in an envelope to my aunt's house. She was my pastor at the time. Or give it to my mom if she was on her way to church. And I was trying to just live an upright life. When I got my taxes, I gave $700 to the church I was going to right around the corner from my home in the projects. I was just trying so hard to live a upright life in front of God, not in front of man, because I ain't, that's why I put everything in an envelope. I've always been taught, my grandma taught me, my mom taught me, when you ever hand somebody money, don't do it where people can see. You just sort of, grab their hand or something like that. Because to do it and people see, it's just like you trying to, you know what I'm saying? I have learned codes of everything, how to do what, loyalty, the way, the etiquette of how to, you know, and that's those things in the matrix. I mean, you're not supposed to give money anyway and people see it to God unless you're putting it in a plate. But you ain't supposed to be all like, okay, I did, look, everybody, this is $100 bill, like that. You're supposed to be, but I know. And so I would go paint the church. They have a day to paint the church. I was a church secretary. I would go 3 times out the week, and I wasn't trying to get paid nothing. I was surprised when I found out people was getting paid. I never got paid for nothing except one time that I asked my aunt for a few dollars because I needed gas to get to the church, and she gave me $7 to go clean up the church, and that was the big church. My ex had made an altar and a communion table, because he was a contractor, the one who passed away. And I went with him to get all the wood and stuff. It was very, very nice. But this is the scripture he gave me. This is my scripture from the Bible. It's Psalm 23 and 2. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Y'all know that one. Let me lay down. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I have no fear, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I am not a wolf in sheep clothing. I am a sheep, and my shepherd is Jesus. And I trust him. And I have surrendered my life to God. And so I'm very happy in my life. But like I said, I have made major sacrifices. But the sacrifices that I made was meant to be made for my betterment, is meant to be made for my betterment. And as time goes on, the Lord told me one time something that I couldn't even see at the time. This was in 2024, that my family will be saved through me. And I have broken a generational curse in my family. And I couldn't believe it at that time. I could not accept who he was calling me to be, but I have accepted it now. And I know that they will, because not only have I seen everything that I've went through, but they've been front seat witnesses too. They know. Everybody know. Everybody know the treatment that I went through on Facebook. Everybody know the treatment that I went through. I had to change my page. I had to create a new page. I would like somebody's stuff and make them a message, and they would like everybody's comment except mine. Same on TikTok. It'd be 200 people write a thing, and all 200 get like. All 200 maybe get a comment after, except mine. Not one, not one person. Unusual. Just like now. I have one view now. One like, I'm sorry. It's not even a view. It's a like. But I had to get a view to get a like. Somebody actually stepped in and pressed like. I don't want to sound desperate. I'm not desperate. I don't care about what people think about me. But what I care about is there anybody else in the world like me? Am I the only person in this struggle? Do God lead people to me like he leads me to them? Can anybody see me? Can anybody hear me? Am I just pouring into a big dark void? People gotta know if I'm putting all this time, 5 hours a week into online, and I'm not even monetized, and I've been doing this 2 months, they gotta know that somewhere in there, if they're a creator or an influencer, they gotta know that they can mess with your money. They gotta know they can do that to you. They gotta know that if they go through what I go through, and they sitting and they just watching, they gotta know that the people know that they have fear. Am I the only lion roaring out here in this concrete jungle? No, because I see someone who has pressed like. No, I'm not. And that's all I had to see. I don't care. I don't care if don't nobody in the world like me. I don't care if nobody in the world understand me. But I do care that I'm setting out to make a difference. And the Lord putting it on people's heart as He's telling me that I am making a difference. And what kind of world I live in. I know who I serve. I trust Him completely. And when I get offline, this experience will be behind me. The only thing I want to do is please God and do what He tell me to do. Be a lighthouse and follow my righteous path. And that's what I'm doing. And I appreciate the light. There will come a time when it will be so many people that I can't even respond. But when that time comes, I might not even respond. Everything is being trained up in me to not be affected one way or another. Because if a person can get you full, they can also starve you. And everything the Lord wants me to see has been being seen on the way, a preparation for a future, to be able to see and listen out for people who has been through actually what I'm going through, and see who is real and see who is not, and see who's meant to be in my life, who come in the future. See past the flesh, see into the spiritual. After you give up everything, you don't settle. You don't. You don't settle, and you don't deal with nonsense. You don't have time for it. And as the Lord rises you in the spiritual realm, rises you meaning I'll give you more understanding. Not rising you meaning that, oh, now I'm better, better, better. No, rising you mean, if you pick somebody up out the mud, you got to first wash them down, make sure they be able to go in your shower because they can't come to your house all dirty. Get them cleaned up, let them rest, let them eat, let them start, climbing. They go up there to the valley, walk around, get some fresh air, just enjoy the atmosphere, then start, hunting, learn how to hunt, learn how to make a fire, learn how to cook what they cook it down, whatever, start on their path upwards. All I'm saying is giving you a new level is giving you more clarity, more understanding, more tools. Just like in the some games online, I mean some video games. And the more you get up, the more tools you get. And you have them in your vault, more tools in your vault that you can pull on for each situation that might come up similar. Be like, okay, yeah, bam, pull that out the file cabinet. I got that. Not saying that you rise above people, because you'll always be humble. Nobody got to humble. You ain't got to go through humiliation. You are so humble. You don't realize how humble I am. What you don't see, what you see is confidence that God's given me through how He sees me. I put my best foot forward. I dress my flesh up. But everybody don't like how I look, but I don't care. I'm confident in the fact that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, knowing that I'm not a hypocrite, knowing I'm being the best person that I can be. That's what I'm confident in. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm free. And I enjoyed my Juneteenth weekend, and I've been enjoying my life. And I've been really enjoying God. And the closer I get to Him, the more I stay at His will, the more I see His hand working in my life, working on my behalf. The more people I feel connected to in the spiritual realm, through the spiritual realm. Sometimes I've seen their faces on here, online. They've went through what I have went through, and they cannot respond based on the fact you get to a certain level that you just cannot interact. But I have a connection to those people because I feel them. And I understand. And so my advice to you, just like God's advice to me, is be water. Go with the flow. Trust God. Be that person in the lighthouse. Know that you are essential. Be essential. And I want you guys to know God loves you and I love you. God loves you so much more. And make sure you put your full armor on. God told me to tell you that today. Keep your full armor on. We are certainly living in those evil days it speaks of. Peace.